Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a special late edition of the Galaxsi Scrum. I'm your host, Matt Galaxsi, and you can obviously subscribe to the channel so you guys stay notified for the Galaxsi Scrum. We stream this every single week, and today I am joined by Mr. Retro Rugby League, and I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that correctly because I'm pretty sure you've got like a weird spelling of it.
Yeah, that's right. So you got to think of it as the way that Peter V'landys would say it. So he would say Rugba League. So that's where the spelling comes from. Also, I think someone else took Rugby League when I started this whole gig.
Fair enough. Yeah, and obviously Retro Rugby League because that would be pretty common. But yeah, so first of all, I just want to do a quick sound check. Can you guys hear Retro and can you guys hear me? If I could get a thumbs up in chat. And obviously after the stream is finished, this episode will be available on Spotify shortly after the episode is done. So I just need to get a quick sound check, make sure everything is all good. I'm also going to check myself so no one lies to me. And obviously after this,
you got to think of it as the way that.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. All right. First of all, how are you going tonight, Retro?
Yeah, good. It's been a bit of an interesting day in our household, but apart from that, things are going pretty good. It's a busy time with Anzac Day around the corner, so every club that's putting out Anzac jerseys is dropping all their stuff. So there's been some cool ones come out, and there will be more to come. And I'm really excited, actually, about digging into the story of the St. George one that's just come out. It's got a really cool story with it. So, yeah, heaps on at the moment.
It's really cool. Honestly, I've been following Retro for a while and his content has been absolutely outstanding, just following jerseys and stuff. And I think you've kind of made me a small jersey fanatic myself because I've been collecting jerseys for a few years now, mainly for the Broncos and the Dolphins. But quite honestly, it's really enjoyable just to see like different designs and stuff like that. I will say this as well. I'm always like eyeing your page because there's one jersey I'm always eyeing for, and that's the Broncos Iron Man jersey.
Well, you might have to send me a message after we finish because I may have one.
Okay, hopefully in my size.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
But it's all good. So we'll just quickly, first of all, Retro, tell us a bit about yourself.
So I live on the Sunshine Coast. I haven't always lived on the Sunshine Coast, but we've been here since 2023, I think. And so I'm just a rugby league fan, a rugby league nerd who's just been on about this whole thing since I was a kid. But it was really only since 2022 that I kind of got involved in buying and selling retro rugby league jerseys. And then really from there in 2024 was when I really pushed into actually making video content out of a kind of reaction to some cleaning stuff that I was doing, trying to restore some jerseys. And then also when the Warriors launched their heritage jersey, that's when I kind of started making review style content as well. And that seemed to be something that people liked. And it's all gone on from there.
Sorry, just to interrupt. You said 23 you started doing that, or 24?
24.
Okay, so you've not been... Okay, so you haven't been doing this for very long.
No, well, when I first started in 2022, I did make video content to go along with the jerseys. So my concept was there was other people who were buying and selling jerseys, and notably there's a guy you should follow as well called Jersey Lord. But no one was really doing video content with it. They just kind of post up the photo of the jersey and then have a little spiel underneath. And I thought, well, I want to do something that tells the story a little bit more than that, and pull out some kind of key moments from games and then take them to where that jersey fits into the kind of rugby league sphere. So I started making videos then, but no one watched them. It was all a bit of a miserable failure until kind of really... start of last year is when I really went hard at saying I'm going to do this every day, and I basically put out a video, if not multiple videos, every day for a year and 4 months.
That's pretty cool, man. I've been a big follower of your probably early this year, I think, if I'm being honest. I think we started talking like early this year or late last year, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think maybe late last year. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I think I followed rugby league jerseys on Instagram, and then I found a video from you. I'm just like, and you explained, I think it was the story behind it was one of the heritage jerseys. I can't recall which one, but I know I was instantly hooked, man. I remember that. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Obviously, I actually just remembered I need to grab your Instagram because I want to share your Instagram because guys, Retro does a lot of Instagram content as you already know. So I'm going to quickly link that in the chat right now. Go and check him out. Link is in chat right now. So Retro. So I pitched this to you at the start of the stream. And we're going to get to hear your answers. So like I did with Woblin a few weeks ago, I've asked Retro to pick 3 former or current NRL players to invite to a dinner party. So Retro, who are your guests?
Oh, yeah, this is a tough one. So if we're allowed anyone to bring, not players, I would have had Wayne Bennett on the list, but I can't have him. I'm gonna have Freddie, Brad Fittler. So I'm a big Freddie fan. I've actually met him once before. I've got a Brad Fittler tattoo on my calf, and he actually signed it, and I got that signature tattooed on there as well. Buzz Rothfield actually wrote a full-page article on it at the Sunday Telegraph. So Freddie will be in there. Or Matty Johns, and I'm going to pick someone from yesteryear. And someone who not only is a rooster, but a key influential and Indigenous figure, and that is Arthur Beetson, would be my third.
Oh, those are some really good choices. So what do we had? We had Brad Fittler, Matty Johns, good choice by the way, and Arthur Beetson, which is definitely a very good choice. Do you want to elaborate on your Arthur Beetson choice?
Yeah, I mean, so got to remember, like, so Artie growing up. He played his early football out at Redcliffe, so Finns, where your one of your teams is from. So he won a grand final with Redcliffe in 1974, I believe, before he went to the Roosters. And he's only like 19 at the time, so just an absolute prodigy, but just a tough dude. And so for him, it'd be like kind of, what was it like growing up back then? What was rugby league like back then? What are the stories? What are the kind of the ways that he views the game now? And a similar thing for Freddie, it'd be like, what's the inside take on what it was like at the Roosters and your coaching experience with New South Wales and all those kind of things. And then Matty would just be full of all the stories all round and funny, but it comes across, and I think this is right, that Matty's actually quite a smart guy. He's actually a pretty well-cultured guy. So his knowledge far exceeds rugby league into all other manner of spheres and sports. So it'd be interesting to hear, some of his yarns in those regards too.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time I have listened to the Matty Johns podcast, and he's like, him and Cooper Cronk are like super like getting like so into the details of the games and stuff like that. And his insight with this stuff is like really, 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 really cool. And quite honestly, those are some really good choices. And I would definitely want to know what rugby league is like all the way back then. And you said also before you would invite Wayne Bennett, but you said coaches. I did say former players, and Wayne Bennett is a former player.
Well, that is true. That is true. That's not the capacity in which I would have talked to him. But I mean, Wayne to me is just an enigma. You know, how does Wayne do what Wayne does? How, like, you look at the way that the South Sydney guys are talking about him at the moment. There's a press conference the other night after the Rabbitohs beat the Roosters, I'm loath to say, and Cody Walker was sitting next to Bennett. And he's smiling, and the way he was talking in that interview is markedly different than when Jason Demetrio was in the box. And I don't think it's just because they won. That's the effect that Wayne Bennett has, that he just brings this kind of energy out of him. Jack White was also interviewed in the Sheds afterward, and he's talking about Wayne like it's his dad. Like, everyone just loves Wayne. How does he do it? How does he sprinkle the magic dust? So they're the little things that, like, if you could just be a fly on the wall in the Wayne Bennett experience, that would be something else.
Can I ask like a little question for you? Have you ever read any of the books that Wayne Bennett has like been a part of?
No, I haven't. Now that you mention that, I was listening to a Paul Kent podcast just today, and he mentioned I think one of them is called "The Wolf at Your Door."
Yeah.
And it never dawned on me actually to go and I listened to a few audiobooks and stuff. I should actually go and get those and listen to them.
I'll just also say if you have Spotify Premium, it is actually available for free.
There you go. Okay, so maybe I'll try that.
And if you want to get like a list of books going, the Ivan Cleary book is really good as well.
Ah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't done many biographies and things. So it's an interesting little tidbit for your listeners that if I listen to books, the most common genre I'll listen to is horror. And I hate horror movies. I won't watch horror movies, but I like horror books. I like more like classic horror, right? So, Frankenstein, Dracula, stuff like that. But that's my go-to audiobook genre.
My girlfriend would like you because I'm pretty sure she likes her horror books as well. Speaking of which, I just want to quickly say hello to people in the chat, which one of them is JLR. Hello, babe. How you doing? We also have Pancake Sports in. We also have number one Nathan Cleary hater as well. But he actually had a question for you, Retro. Retro, what do you think of Matt arresting James Tedesco?
What?
Okay. So just for a bit of context, yesterday I played 2 games of Rugby League Live 4, and both games I got robbed, and as a result, I arrested the game version of James Tedesco.
Okay. Well, poor old Teddy. He's in a bit of trouble today. I saw talking about his comments about Sam Walker or something, so now he's in double trouble with Matt Galaxy.
Oh no. A lot of people are thinking that you're on here to straighten me out about that.
No.
But if you're keen, the final score of the Broncos-Roosters game that we did was 8-9 with a field goal in the last minute from the Roosters. So
wow, there you go. It could be an omen for this Friday night. I will be there this Friday night. Hopefully we'll get up.
Probably not. I mean, hopefully. You'll be all right. I reckon it'll be... and then someone in the chat, Nio, also, hello, Nio, says, robbed is a strong word. First was just Panthers being Panthers. Because we did the Finns game as well.
Okay. No, it's a good idea. Yeah, am I supposed to be able to see the chat, by the way?
If you want to, you don't have to if you don't want to. I mean, if I have a question from chat that I want to ask you, I will say that on stream. So completely up to you.
Fine. That's fine.
Oh, good. So apparently James Tedesco is calling someone in chat right now. So yeah, we'll see. So guys, so we're going to get into the round review for last week. So round 5 multicultural round. So let's get into the results. So just very quickly, the results are the following. The Raiders 24 to the Sharks 20. What a game that was, huh?
Yeah, I went away at one point of that game going, oh yeah, the Sharks will get this. And then came back and went, what the heck? How did the Raiders come back in that? So yeah, it's just such a back and forth game, and the Raiders pulling that try out of absolutely nowhere. I feel like as good as the Raiders were, it is a mark on what's going on in Cronulla at the moment. And they've actually been relatively consistent. It's just consistently not good enough. Yeah, so I think if you can actually track the performance of one team and you could predict what they would output, you'd be the most accurate with the Sharks. But it's just not translating into wins.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there's been a lot of questions around Nico Hines as well. I think it seems like the Sharks can't seem to hit the goal that they want, but come like round 20, 21, around that time, they'll start like picking up momentum and they'll be ready for the finals. And quite honestly, they gave the only win that Penrith have had is against the Sharks on Vegas soil.
Yeah, that's right. So, and they were pretty lucky not lucky, but they eked that out. So when you look at it like that, Penrith's performance this year has been thoroughly unconvincing.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Panthers, let's move on to the next game. Panthers 18, Cowboys 22. That is a good win for the boys up north. Yeah, I was expecting Penrith to get up in the second half, but they just didn't. Cowboys ended up defending. They did really well. And then I remember, because I was watching Wobblin's stream when that happened, he just yelled at it on the top of his son because he's a big Cowboy supporter.
I know. Yeah, he's a big man too, so he would have been absolutely loving it. Yeah, I don't know what to think. It's hard to know when you're looking at the Panthers at the moment. Is it that the other teams are good or the Panthers just bad? And you expected with Nathan Cleary back that things would turn. It's like the Roosters last year when they went on that losing streak, and every week you're just waiting for them to turn it around, and they just didn't, or possibly the year before. And yeah, the Panthers are in that boat. Every week you'd tip them. You'd think they're going to win, and they just don't. I'm not so convinced that it's all doom and gloom, but it's not how it was, that's for sure.
No, definitely. I'm not ready to write them off just yet, but I think if the Finns actually get up and beat them this week, I think we're gonna have a problem with Penrith.
Yeah, I'd say so. And Finns are at home too, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. And it's hard to know really, hey, because like the NRL is just absolute wild beast this round. You know, we'll talk about it in a second. But the fact that the Dragons went down to last place Parramatta after beating Melbourne Storm the week before, rugby league maths is doing some weird things at the moment. So if the Dolphins beat the Panthers, what does that really tell us about the NRL? I don't know anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. But a good win for the Cowboys nonetheless. I had someone at work message me as soon as they won, be like, I guess you're going to have to, because I said to them earlier in the week, if the Panthers win this game, I will bow to your superiority. And lo and behold, she didn't show up at work on Monday, so I didn't have to do it.
Oh, there you go. Lucky you.
Thank God for school holidays, eh?
Yeah.
So moving on, and you probably don't want to talk about this one, but we have the Rabbitohs 20 against the Roosters 14.
Yes, we do have that game.
What's going on with the Roosters, Retro? What is going on?
So not to drop a rival podcast, but actually, and I agree with this take. Listen to Paul Kent on his New Kenty kind of thing, and he was referencing back. It was about 2017 or 18. Must have been 2016 going into 2017 season. That the Roosters had lost a few players, and Trent Robinson went to Nick Politis and said, look, I've looked at our salary cap and we've really got two options. We can either do it little bit by little bit and we'll be competitive for the next 3 years, but we'll finish around the top 8. Or we can have one horrible year where we just throw everything out the window, have a write-off season and be in premiership contention by the next year. And Nick Politis said the second option. And I think that's where the Roosters are at the moment. I think that's why they haven't gone out and because they're sitting on a ton of cash. And I'm not talking about salary cap sombrero cash. So they had the opportunity to go out and buy all these people, and they haven't. And when the people have come up on the market, like Dylan Brown and their management saying, oh, the Roosters are interested, Nick Politis very quickly to come out and say, not interested. So I think they know the game they're playing, and it's a 2026 game, which means we have to suffer a little bit now. I'd be really interested to see how Hugo Savala plays on Friday night. So he's not debuting, because he debuted a few weeks ago. That's his first run-on game at halfback. And so Chad Townsend's getting a rest. So that'd be interesting to see what a young guy like him does. There's green shoots. Rob Toyer, Billy Smith's back. You know, this Mark Nawinga. I'm going to butcher this. Mark Nawonga Nituasa. Oh, you know what I'm trying to say. Mark. Yeah, he's had some absolute great touches after people have said, you know, he's hopeless. And he's really shown them otherwise. But this is a year to just trudge through and get to the other side and look for better things in 2026, I think.
Fair enough. I guess I'll just want one more note, and I think this is from you as a Roosters supporter. Do you think Chad Townsend being dropped is a fair call?
Look, I do, but it's not always the negative. So someone said to me the other day, oh, you know, they must have been him and Dominic Young. You know, what have they done that's so bad? Well, maybe the question is what are these other guys who are coming in doing that's so good? Yeah, I love Billy Smith. And so having him back in the squad, I'll cop, Dominic Young sitting on the sideline to have Billy Smith back. And the same thing, if this Hugo Savala is just tearing it up in cup, give him a shot. So I don't think that the blame rests at the feet of Chad Townsend like everyone else wants it to be. He's just the scapegoat a bit there. But maybe now's the time to give this kid a go.
Yeah, definitely agree. Also with Chad, I think a lot of people forget that rugby league, it is a 13 to 17 player sport. Like if one player fails, they all fail. But honestly, like it's a team effort in order to get the performances up to the highest standard. Like look at Penrith. Actually, bad example. Look at the Broncos.
Well, I can tell you this right now. Chad Townsend does not defend in the middle. He doesn't defend under the sticks. And that try that Rabbitohs scored with Totola straight under the sticks is not Chad Townsend's fault. There are experienced guys in the middle there, Lindsay Collins and the like, who were there, and it did not happen for them. So it's not all those guys are the easy scapegoats, but the problems are bigger than just a single player.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, that's another chapter done in the book of feuds for the Rabbitohs and Roosters. I believe you meet them again at the end of the year.
Yeah, round 27 at Allianz. I would like to go to that. It's in Sydney, of course, but we'll see what the future holds.
We'll see what happens. I'm going to quickly race through this one because this isn't but I guess this is a big deal for the team who won. Eels 23, Dragons 22. Zach Lomax giving it back to his old team, and Clint Gutherson suffering in the meantime.
Yeah, Gutho did get a double though. I think didn't he? I did see one little clip where he must have scored, and some Dragons fans were doing the Gutherino to a quite angry Eels fan in the stand. So maybe that'll develop as a nice little rivalry between those two clubs for a while. Look, it's good to see Parra get a win. I can't see either of these clubs having a great year. But yeah, I think you're right. A little bit of relief for Parra fans for 1 week anyway.
Yeah, definitely. This is a definite win that they needed. Titans 36, Dolphins 10. Oh, wait, sorry. Dolphins 36, Titans 10. I intentionally did that, by the way. Sorry, no, I couldn't resist. But big win for the Finns. I feel like this is going to put a lot of confidence going into this round. And definitely Hammer having another game. Like Hammer is not, I'm going to be honest, Hammer's not been that great this year so far, but this game he spurred up. So it was really good to see him back.
Yeah. And this is the game as well where Tino got sent off, so that kind of skewed things for a little bit as well. I didn't actually get to watch this game live because we were already on our way to Suncorp and stuff for the Tigers game. But it's good for the Dolphins to finally get a win. I think they've been close in some games. They were very close against the Tigers, and they seemed to clock off at halftime.
Yeah.
A lot of people are tipping them to come last. I didn't think that was going to happen. And I still probably believe that, but maybe not as some people are tipping them to make the 8, and I can't see that happening.
Yeah, I tipped them to make the 8 too, and I'm kind of questioning that now. But I definitely don't think they're the spoon. I feel like there's still worse teams out there. Cough, cough, Parramatta. Cough, cough, Dragons.
I would agree.
Had to mention them. And then, anyway, but yeah, good win. I feel like they're going to ride that momentum next week. Hopefully get the dub against the Panthers. Fingers crossed. Then we go to the game that we were both at, and I didn't realize you were at there. Otherwise, I would have chased you down.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I should have put something up to say I was going, because I could have met up with the Wiggles. So Sahai and Lockie Wiggle pushed the button just before the game started, and I chat a little bit to the Tree of Wisdom, Dom Field, and he said, "Oh, we were at the game. We could have met up." I said, "No, could have met the Wiggles." But that game,
a lot of people were at the game. Actually, I just realized.
Yeah,
there were a few people.
Crowd.
Yeah,
it's 40,000 crowd. I didn't expect that for a Tigers game, and a mid of the night game. That score doesn't reflect what the game was actually like. I feel that score makes it look like the Broncos walked over the Tigers and they scored maybe a few late consolation tries. That's not how it was. I thought the Tigers were actually very good for them in that game. They just don't have that championship gear yet to hang all the way in with the big dogs. But they were leading, coming into halftime, just before halftime. I think they were up 12-6-ish or something. And then the Broncos scored and kicked the field goal. But, Tigers would have a lot of positives to take out of that, considering no Jerome Luai too.
Yeah, definitely. The Tigers were actually I will be honest, when the Tigers were leading 12-6, I went into panic mode, and my girlfriend could definitely attest to that. I was just like, yeah. But then I think around the 35th minute, I think Broncos went like, we should probably do something.
Yeah, when they turn it on, they turn it on. That's very like 2023 Broncos, right? Like you think you're in the fight, and then they'll just go bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what they did. Those young guys just doing their thing. It's interesting watching. I know where you sat, but I sat behind the post at the Caxton Street end, and the relationship between Reece Walsh and Ben Hunt has got a bit of work to do, because there was a lot of times where Reece was calling for the ball and Ben wasn't giving it to him. So
Yeah.
I think it's like it's the fresh young Prince versus the old head of Ben Hunt, and they'll have a little bit of work to do to see who's right and how they make that fit together well.
Yeah, definitely. I did kind of see that as well. It's because I do remember Reece screaming for the ball a fair bit of times.
Yep.
And actually, speaking of Reece Walsh, he had a blind. I reckon he had a good game.
Yeah, once again, I don't think he's back to that 2023 state. I mean,
No.
I watched him play live against the Roosters at the Gabba, and he did some freaky things and things that were just like visionary. He hasn't seemed to get back there yet, but also the team is probably better around him, where he doesn't have to be that guy as much anymore. Yeah. I think people underestimate how much Ben Hunt adds to that team. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to like about the Broncos as a squad, and I've been saying it all year. I think they'll win the grand final.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I actually think I'm not writing Penrith off yet, but if they lose this week, I would probably say the grand final is going to come down to either the Bulldogs, Storm, or the Broncos.
I'd agree with that. Yep.
I would
I put Manly in there as a smoky if Tommy Turbo stays fit.
Speaking of Manly, Storm 48, Seagulls 24. This was wow. Storm just like put the foot on the gas.
Yeah, they are that team. I feel like they've been driven by the angst of that. Like last year, they were favourites to win that grand final, going into the grand final. Once it got going, they never looked like doing it. Not they weren't far off, but it was just forever out of reach for that whole 80 minutes. And I feel like they're just getting like this. We have to make up for that. We have to. Now that could burn them out. So watch your screens by when we start getting close to September. But at the moment, they're showing every sign. And geez, Ryan Pappenhausen is fast. That try he scored where he just screams through the middle. He's so quick. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely. Storm are definitely going to be the team to beat. And the only loss they have against is one of the worst teams. It was a bit. Yeah, that's a bit one. I'll just say this. My brother, he's a huge Broncos fan. Absolutely hates St. George. So when he saw that, he was not happy.
I think it's the old 90s hangover. Where the Broncos beat St. George twice back in the 90s. So, yes.
Yeah. And then the last game, and honestly, this one of the teams in here actually got my worst team of the week. Bulldogs 20-0. Bulldogs continuing that form. They're going to be on top of the ladder for another week as well, because they actually have the bye this week. But Bulldogs, I think if I recall correctly, the halftime score was 2-0.
That's exactly right. I was just about to mention that. So it was a real grind in the first half. I was trying to do a live stream myself and flicked over to see that we were only at half time by the time I usually go to start. So that was a bit of a fail for me. But it was a real back and forth kind of grindy, dour affair to begin with. But geez, those doggies, man, like I still am not a believer, because I feel like they haven't beaten the big dogs teams yet. They beat the Sharks, so that's significant. But they haven't really been pushed to the limit. And last year when that happened, they fell to pieces. So let's see.
Their first true test, the Bulldogs. And I'm actually hoping I can get Mr. Luke Sports, because Mr. Luke Sports, he's a huge Bulldogs fan. Their first real test, the Bulldogs, is going to be the Broncos.
And that is 2 weeks' time.
And Zach Round.
3 weeks' time, yes. There's a possibility I might be at that game too. So, we will see. And that'll be a real, up there round too. The emotions will be high for that match. So, very interesting.
Yeah. But that's all the games for this week. I'll just quickly run through the suspension. I think I got them all. Corey Waddell Manly, 2-match. Brendan Piacora, 2-match for careless high tackle. Unfortunately, he is also on stand down for concussion. That was a shocker. We were watching that, and that was like he was out cold. Yeah, poor thing. Tino has also been suspended for one match, and Ray Stone has been suspended for one match as well. Injuries. Oh, Rabbitohs. Oh, that's a lot of injuries. A lot of hamstring injuries this week, I've noticed. Cody Walker, low-grade hamstring. Jamie Humphries, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Moderate hamstring. And Ravalawa is also a hamstring tear. Oh, that's painful. Yeah. Roosters, Lindsay Collins, that's a big loss.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, Lindsay probably, and even I mentioned he would probably say this himself, probably hasn't been where he would like to be even when he's on the field. But there's some young guys coming through from the Roosters that make that a little less painful, so that's good for them. The scary prospect for anyone else who thinks that Souths are on the come down is Latrell is now at 6 and is probably going to be touching the ball more than ever. So that's a space to watch.
Yeah. Who's got the Cowboy? Who's got the Rooster? I think it's Cowboys. Yeah. Cowboys actually have him this week. Have them this week, so that's going to be a scary game.
Rabbitohs, in Perth, in the doubleheader in Perth.
Yeah, a bit early to do a doubleheader in Perth, if I'm being honest.
Well, did you hear the story behind this? So the reason that this is happening now is because the plan was that the NRL was going to announce this is the final signing off of the Perth Bears bid on this weekend.
Oh, but that's not going to happen.
What was everything scheduled for. So the NRL is still going over there, but I was listening to Paul Kent speak. I'm giving Paul Kent a lot of plugs today. But he was saying that, yes, that was what was supposed to happen, and what's actually going to happen is they'll still go there and say, isn't it wonderful that we're here in Perth? And the Bears bid is looking next to dead.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that's definitely going to be a discussion video at some point with the Perth Bears as well. But yeah, so that's interesting. Panthers, Mitch Kenny, Jack Cole are both injured. Jack Cole failed HIA. Mitch Kenny shoulder injury. I don't know what that came back as. I have to check out after the game. Knights actually lost a fair bit. Jacob Saifidi, James Schiller, and Jack Hetherington. I think one of them, by the way, Jacob Saifidi, he got on the field, but then he came straight off, didn't he? If I recall.
I don't recall. I missed that one, so I'm not sure what happened there.
And then Sea Eagles, Jason Saab, high ankle sprain, likely to miss next game, which I've also got Tom Trbojevic here. That wasn't this week, that was last week, if I recall.
That's right, he's still off.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the injuries and suspensions. Awards for this week, got 4 out of 8 for tipping. Much better than last week. Last week I got 2. Best team, Melbourne Storm. Impressive performance. Jerome Hughes doesn't even look like he was injured. So yeah, there you go. Worst team, Newcastle Knights. No points scored. Although, honourable mention to Penrith. Going down to North Queensland at home too. That's a bit of a shock. And then surprise is the Cowboys. You can't write these guys off. These are like legendary times for the Cowboys, even though they probably could be performing a lot better. And the MVP is Grant Anderson, scoring 3 tries and being well utilised by the Melbourne Storm.
And great coming out of his own end. He's underestimated both in his speed and his toughness. He's not a huge dude, but he gets in and does the hard work. I like it.
Oh, good. I'm just checking the comments here. Someone jokingly said Tino to fullback.
Well, it'd be devastating out of the backfield. That'd be for sure. I'd hate to see him getting a 20-meter runner.
Actually, we missed a comment earlier, and I'm actually going to bring this up. Both your thoughts on Adam Reynolds' hamstring injury. He's fine, so I don't know what to think of that.
Yeah, the other night when I went to that Broncos game, my plan was to ask fans in the crowd a bit of a series of questions. One being, which is more likely, Alex Twal to score a try or Adam Reynolds to finish the game uninjured, and neither happened. So, it's every week, isn't it? And it looks like at this rate that this may be, is it this year or next year is the last year of Adam Reynolds? I don't think the Broncos are going to renew that contract. Yeah.
This year. There was a lot of discussion. Now, he actually mentioned this in the post-game press conference. There is a good chance he might get squeezed out, but I think it's because the Broncos have a salary cap issue, have a bit of a salary cap squeeze.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's not because any turmoil or anything like that. It's just they've got a lot of players in unusual positions on big money. Payne Haas is on $1 million, Reece Walsh on $1 million, Paddy Carrigan's pretty well paid. Jordan Rickies and the guys like that. So it's inevitable at some point. You got to lose some. and that's why there was rumours swirling about Reynolds going to Manly. I'm not sure that's the pick I would make. If I was Reynolds, I'd say, hey, Bronx, can I have a job in coaching and just settle down in Brisbane? I think you'd be pretty happy with that. But maybe you still got a bit more fire in the belly, or do a tour over in England.
There was I was watching the Bloke podcast, I think yesterday, and they were saying like which current player would make a good coach, and I think Dan and Keep said Isaiah Yeo. I think Adam Reynolds would actually be a very close second there.
Well, do you recall Tyson Gamble's on a podcast when he was still at the Broncos, and he said, when we've got questions, we ask Adam. Don't ask Kevin.
Oh, yes.
So, and I think he meant that in a positive sense. People took that negatively, but Matty John said that's what you'd expect from your chief playmaker, that people would want to know what's going on from you. So he already has that. And to have a halves coach like him, same with DCE, like whatever they want in money, you couldn't buy a better halves coach for whatever they want, even as a player. So I think the Bronx would be silly to let him go. When he went to the Broncos, he kind of really tossed his South Sydney cap out the door and said, I'm a Bronco. And I think he'd be smart to stay with that line. For other reasons as well. Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. But let's move on to what is supposed to be the topics of actually the podcast. But we're not going to talk about anything because there's not really anything big going on in the world of rugby league right now. But we got Retro here. So I thought we'd take this opportunity to test your rugby league jersey knowledge a little bit, or your ranking, let's say that. Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen here, folks. Hopefully everything is still perfect. Yes, there we go. As you can see, there is a beautiful picture of Suncorp Stadium Rugby League Live for that. And it's only because the next image is actually the first one. So we're going to do a blind ranking. So what I'm going to do, Retro, is I'm going to show you 10 jerseys and you're going to blindly rank them. The thing is, you're not going to know which one is next. Mm-hmm. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right. You guys ready? Actually, first, Pancake has a question for you. So I'm just going to hold up for a second. Actually, question for Retro. He says, we're waiting on you, Pancake. Does he like the rugby? Oh, okay. He asks, first of all, I think I'll ask the question. Have you played any rugby league video games before?
I have, but not for a long time. So I was a teenager when Rugby League, the first one, came out, and I played a lot of that in Rugby League Live, or it's just called Rugby League 2 on the PlayStation. I didn't play many of them past that.
Okay, so
I haven't played Rugby League Live 4.
Have you played Rugby League 3?
Oh,
that was the one on the Wii.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that one was a bizarre one, if I'm being completely honest. But no, it was all good. All right, let's get started. So you ready for the first jersey?
Let's do it.
All right, first jersey. This is the Canberra. I want to say Canberra Alternative. I think that's what it's called.
I can't actually see anything on the screen. I'm sorry. I can still just see that Suncorp picture.
Okay, how about now? No?
No, unless I need to click something.
You will need to click it, yeah.
There's something loading.
Okay.
I can see you, I can see me, I can see another screen that says Matt at 720p, 30 frames per second live, and it's just got blue dots circling around. But for the sake of TV, I assume when you're talking about the alternate, are you talking the primarily green or the primarily white jersey?
The green, it's got the Viking clap on it.
Yes, the color wave. I liked that for the sake of ingenuity. So I am going to put it at 4.
4, okay. I'm going to write this down. All right, ready for the next one?
Yep. You'll just have to describe them to me.
Okay. This is one of your favorite. This is your team's home jersey.
Yeah, I didn't mind. It's classic Roosters, isn't it? Like we just kind of stick with that forever. We've got 10, so I'm going to put it at. I've got 4. I'm going to put it at 6.
Okay. All right. I'm writing these down as well because we're gonna.
I've got it written down here too, so if that helps.
All right. All good. Next one. Okay. So this is this year's jerseys. I don't know if you, by the way, guys, you actually got this. This is the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs heritage jersey.
Oh yes, this is a very good one. There's a couple of others that I really like this year. So I'm going to put that as 3. But yeah, that's good. I mean, the Bulldogs, have done that strip a number of times, but there's a few little tweaks on it that made it cool. And actually, for people who don't know this, there's actually a special edition that when they first came out, you had to bid on them. There was only 90 made, and they were going to be set by the price of the auction. So the first auction that happened, I think, was up to $900 or something like that. They're very special limited edition ones. I'm not sure where they finished at.
That's definitely interesting. Did they did something similar for last year's jersey, didn't they?
We're talking about the heritage one with the stripes, or we're talking about the V?
The one with the collar. It was like the 2004 heritage one. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they had many special edition ones of those. I can tell you a very quick story that the first prints of those, if anyone in your crowd has bought one of those, they'll notice that inside the collar, the date of the grand final is like a little vinyl stick-on. If they were ever brave enough to pull that off, they might find something underneath that was not supposed to be there.
Whoa. You going to delve in? Or?
It's the wrong date. It's the wrong date.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Nothing that mysterious. It's just they got the day of the grand final wrong. So the first edition prints had a little vinyl stick-on to cover that up. The second one's got it right.
I was going to jokingly say it was actually a double movement. that Hausermel mouse, I think it was.
Oh, yes, like I was saying now, yes. No. Or it was held up or something like that.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Can you see yet or no?
No, I just tried to get in and out. It just says stream failed to start. I was looking at 3 screens. I can see you, me, and one that says stream failed to start.
Okay. I'll reshare my screen afterwards. But this is the Broncos away jersey, the one with the collar.
Yeah, okay. I liked this last year. I still like it this year. Of course, for people who don't know, there's a 2-year cycle. So your home and your away jersey has to remain. If you have a home jersey this year, you have to keep that for 2 years straight. There is an exception to that rule if you change manufacturers. You can kind of get out of that. But because I liked it last year and we've got some more good things to come, I'm going to put it at 7.
Okay. And if you guys are curious if I like this jersey or not, I do own this jersey and I like this jersey. However, the inconsistencies of a collar and no collar combo doesn't sit right with me, if I'm being completely honest.
Oh, interesting take. Yeah, okay. I kind of like the utility factor of being able to choose which one you have. So interesting. On the same thing, we are very different.
Well, like let's use I want to use 23 as an example. Like you had the home color, the new home jersey for the Broncos, and then the away was like it was a different design, don't get me wrong, but if you looked at it, like it was the same like style of jersey. Like you could see, like I hate to call it this, but the toilet seat collar.
Yes, yep. That colloquially known as that, yes. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Every year, I made a video about this early on, that every year the Broncos put out something and everyone comes out and bashes it straight away. And I'm convinced that really it's just the default thing to do, to hate on Broncos stuff. This year, the jersey, the home jersey, everyone called it the best and less jersey. I have it on very good authority. It is actually the best-selling Broncos home jersey of all time.
Yeah, I haven't got one of the new home jersey yet, but I do plan on getting one. We actually got one for my brother for his for Christmas, and we actually got his name on the back of it with his lucky number 5 on it. So, yeah, cool. I got a Finns one if anyone's interested. Yeah. Okay, next one. It's another Broncos jersey. Actually, it is the Woman in League jersey.
Yes, so this is an interesting one. So designed by the girls at Sabo Skirt. It's like a Brisbane local fashion brand. 2 Greek girls, I think they are, Greek Australian girls. I saw a couple of these the other night at the game, and they actually look really good in person. On the screen, they're a little lighter than they are in real life. There is 2 jerseys that I'm really holding out for, so I'm reserving 1 and 2. I'm going to put them in between the Broncos and the Roosters, which would put them at 6.
Oh, the Sabo. Well, I thought the Roosters you put at 6.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, sorry, I meant 7. I've got them between the Roosters and the Broncos, is what I meant to say. Apologies.
Okay, so Broncos away was actually 8, sorry. Or was it 7?
Yes.
Because I put you down.
Yes. So Roosters 6, Broncos women in league 7, Broncos away 8. Yeah. So I still got 9, 10, 1, 2, and 5.
So you've got one. So you got 1, 2, 5, 9, and 10?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. You covered this one the other day. Titans Anzac.
Oh, okay. I'm actually going to put a video out about that tomorrow. So here's a little spoiler for your viewers. I like the jersey as a pure rugby league design. I'm not 100% convinced that it tells a compelling Anzac story visually. When you read the story and you understand it, you get there. But off the bat, if you saw that across the paddock, you'd think it's a heritage jersey. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 10, put it in 10.
I have Naya, I have spoiled. Whoops. Apparently they have not seen it yet. So whoops. I think we do have another Anzac jersey coming up. So yeah, let's go to the next one. This one is the Roosters away jersey.
Oh no. Wasted 10th. In 11th spot. Oh, I hate this jersey. I hate it. And the reason, it's like, for anyone who just is not a Rooster, you probably think it's not that bad. I had this conversation with Guru. He's like, what's the big deal? Like, it just looks like every Roosters away jersey ever. No, it doesn't. It breaks all the rules. It has the sleeves where the V joins onto the sleeves looks really weird. As you can see on mine, where the V joins the shoulder, the sleeves sort of square up. And traditionally on the back, it also squares off at the back. These ones like go half over the shoulder. The BYD sponsor placement is atrocious. There's other issues with it as well. I have to put it in 9th because I've wasted 10th spot, but I wish I could put it in 20th. I hate that jersey.
Yeah, I will say this. I think you've kind of got the idea now. I'm going to be very cheeky with this. Let's just say that. Let's move on to the next jersey. Oh, okay. I've got a funny feeling I know when you're going to put this one. Panthers alternate. This is the gold one.
Okay, I'm holding out for the last two, which are my two faves of the year. So I'm going to have to put that in 5th. This one looked better on the screen than it did in real life, in my opinion. That I wish the gold was more gold. It was kind of bronze. It's the same color as the trophy. It's the color that it's modeled after, the Proven Southern Shield. It looked a little rose gold in real life. So it was a great feat to put together. People don't understand how big of a deal it is to convince every sponsor, including KFC, to change their logo colors. But was better in concept than in real life.
I will say this. So when I was modding this jersey into Rugby League Live 4, because I do that stuff. I followed the gold on this actual image itself. And then when I saw the jersey RL, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't like it now.
Yeah, it's a cool concept, and some of the things they played around with, the 4 stripes on the chest and the 2 on the sleeves, that was cool. It's good storytelling. The way they released it, I thought was cool. It was a good occasion to drop it. Pardon me. I don't know if we'll see it again this year. I think that might be a one and done for them.
I'm going to make a theory. I'm going to make a theory about this. If Penrith make the final, I reckon this will be their finals jersey.
Yeah, possibly. I wonder if people would see that as a bad omen. Yeah, you're announcing your victory before you've kind of got it. And
then Broncos beat them in the grand final and go whack.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I would love that.
It would be a terrible storyline. What have we seen for them? They'll still have another 2 jerseys to come. So, yeah, we'll see what they put out.
They'll have I'm guessing they're Indigenous and another one. That could, you've got
the
Anzac
now. No, they already do have an Anzac one out, sorry. They released theirs really early. So, yeah. It'd be interesting if they roll an Indig one into finals. Yeah. The only reason they didn't wear their Pacifica one in the grand final, of course, is because Melbourne finished first, and so they were considered the home team. But they were prepared. They ran into that final series with 2 copies of premiership jerseys ready for grand final day because they weren't sure who was to be playing against. So they were ready to run out in the black Pacifica, which would have been a record or a first time ever.
I'm gonna say that I think it was better that they used the pink one.
Well, it's first pink big jersey in a grand final ever, and first one to win. Yeah, it's cool. I know a lot of Panthers fans are actually getting a little sick of that jersey, and I have a feeling they may not get relief in 2026 either.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would assume they go back to the white one. So,
yeah, I can't recall, but I thought I heard some mail that may not be happening.
Okay, you ready for the next one? I think this is the second last one. This is the Dolphins Heritage jersey.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad this finished. That was there. I really like this. I saw this in person when they played the Tigers, paired with the white shorts and the red and white striped horizontal striped sock. Looked really cool. It also looked very Redcliffe, which they are not. So can we please bite that bullet and just rename them the Redcliffe Dolphins? I'll put it at number 2, and I'm holding out hope that one of my actual 2 favorite jerseys makes it to the final spot.
Are you ready for the last one?
Yep. Give it to me.
Right. The last one is Cowboys alternate.
No, that's not what I was looking for. I liked this jersey. I liked it a little bit better in the images than I did in real life, but I still liked it in real life too. Of their 3 mainline jerseys this year, home, away, and alternate, I think it's the second best. I actually like their away jersey better. It just looks a little faded on the TV in real life. The colours aren't probably that. I'd like that yellow to be a little deeper than a little. It's not fluoro, but I'm going to have to give that number 1 by virtue of thingo. I was, spoiler alert, really holding out for the Parramatta away strip. Really like that with the yellow shorts and the yellow socks, the full banana kit. Really like it, and haven't seen it on field yet, so my opinion may change. But the St. George alternate in the Steelers style, really like that too.
Fair enough. And sorry about that technical difficulty, guys. Don't worry, they heard us all. It's all good. I just had our faces cut for a little bit because I'm setting up for the next one. So let's just quickly go through them. So your favorite jersey of all time is the... No, I'm just kidding. But so you've got number 1, Cowboys alternate. Number 2, Dolphins heritage. Number 3, Bulldogs heritage. Number 4, Canberra alternate. Number 5, Panthers alternate. Number 6, Sydney Roosters home. 7, Broncos women in league. That was the one I was a little iffy on. If we got that one right.
That's the right order. Yep.
Okay, and then number 8 was Broncos away. Number 9 was the Roosters away, which unfortunately you were not a fan of. And then number 10 was the Titans Anzac.
I'm pretty happy with that listing. I would put the Roosters to last, that's for sure. And maybe I'd bump the Broncos up above the Roosters home jersey just because it's something different and the Roosters always do the same thing. Apart from that, I think I would have probably put them in that order.
Fair enough. All right. Well done. So now we're going to go again. Are you ready to go again one more time?
I'm ready. All
right. I'm going to write this one down. I think this one will be very hard for you. So we're not doing, we're doing training tees. Are you ready?
Yeah, this will be hard, especially given that I can't see them. So you have to have some really good describing powers.
Okay. You want to try again? Because I did have to reshare my screen. So maybe you might see it.
So if I hit the watch stream button, is that what I want to do?
Yeah. Do you see Suncorp again?
I do now. Okay, this is good. Okay,
do you see this?
Melbourne Storm, yes.
Okay, so this is the Storm. I think this is their main one. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
They had a couple. They had a pink one, and they also had a blue one. Probably like the blue one better than this. This looks a little doggies-esque. So I'm gonna. Well, I got to reserve. I'm gonna put it in 8th spot. Actually, no, 7th. There's a few shockers out there. I'm ready for some shockers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I only have one of each team this time. I decided to put 2 Roosters and 2 Broncos in the last one because it's like our teams. Let's go to the second one. Oh, this is actually a nice one.
Yeah, once again, I probably preferred the light version of this, but concept-wise, for people who don't know, those sound waves that you're seeing coming through the middle of the jersey are the sound waves of the Viking claps. This is a really clever thing that they did. I'm going to give it 4th.
Okay. Okay. So 4th for the Raiders. All right. Speaking of dogs, here's another one. Here's a dog's one.
Yeah, a little similar to the Storm one. They have a purple captain's one that I probably like the best of their training gear. This one's still, though, not too bad. It's not bad. It's not super exciting either, so I'll give it 6.
Apologies, folks. I forgot to actually share my screen on the actual stream. So my apologies. I'll show you the 2 previous ones, guys. So we have the Storm one, the Raiders, and the Bulldogs. Can you see? You can see them still, Retro?
I still can. Yes.
Okay. Let's go on ahead to the next one. I think this is a pretty good one.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think they might have had a maroon version of this too. I think this is actually the coach's strip, the darker color. But that's okay. Sometimes the coach's ones are better. The Tigers one, I actually prefer the coach's one over the players. I know the person actually who designed that eagle, West Fence Creative. Go give him a follow on Instagram.
Like
it's not
emblem?
my yes, but also see that those kind of jagged shapes in the belly. They're all spin-offs of the eagle, of the feathers of the eagle. But yeah, the person who did that logo also did the new Dragons logo and the Bulldogs logo. So go give West Fence Creative a follow on Instagram. I'm going to give that 8th.
Okay, I'm actually writing that name down because I want to know. I want to check them out later.
Yeah, great guy, Aaron Eastgate, fantastic dude.
All right, my mistake. I wrote the Bulldogs down. 8th is like on my sketch pad. Is just like I've got Storm, no Bulldog, no Sea Eagles. Broncos.
Oh, yeah, I like the mint. I'm a fan of the mint. And for people who don't know as well, see across the belly, you've got that kind of mottled pattern. That's supposed to be bamboo. Why? I'm not exactly sure. I think that's an ASICS thing. But that's what that is supposed to represent. Really like the mint. I can't think of too many other training ones I actually like better than the Broncos kit this year. I actually went to Rebel yesterday to get something else and saw the short. And I hate the Broncos, right? I saw those mint shorts and I thought, oh, geez, I like these shorts. I'm going to put it first. I'm putting it first.
Okay. I will respect you on that. Fun fact,
like the mint?
I don't. So I like the Broncos training range that they've released this year. The mint is not my biggest one. I love though the black one.
Yeah,
I actually purchased a few of those, and I'm planning to actually buy the rest of them because honestly, like that black kit, I love it. I want to get the jacket as well because
it's probably important for people to note too. Well, it's important how important the things are anyway. It's mint, not teal. So don't be confused with the 98, 95 style teal. But don't give hope up on the teal either.
Oh, you got me curious now.
That's all you'll get out of it. Don't give up hope on the teal for possibly this year or future years. Don't give up hope.
I'm just going to say this as well. The amount of stuff that Retro has teased on his Instagram, and I've gone like, is it Broncos? Is it Dolphins? I'm still waiting on, there was one leak. I don't know. You didn't say a leak, but it was like one thing you said that there's a rumor that a team is planning something that is not seen
first in
before?
Australian sport. Yes, definitely.
Is that still?
You will see it. I know what it is. You will see it by round 14. You'll see it earlier than that, but it will be worn on the field in round 14.
Yeah, and apologies, my Google's gone off.
Oh.
Yeah, we've hit 9 o'clock, so we're gonna be a bit over time, but that's okay. Let's go to the next one. Oh, I actually did have a second team, second one in here.
Okay, so that's the other one that I prefer to the Canberra, but I'm holding out spots 2 and 3 in case some really good things come along. So I'm going to put it at 5th.
Okay, The two Raiders together.
Well, I probably would have had them the other way around. I think this green. Oh, they had two names. One was Jungle Green and one was something else. I think this is the dark green's the Jungle Green.
Okay.
Anyway.
Let's go to the next one. So you're missing. So just confirming, we still have 2, 3, 9, and 10.
That's correct.
All right. Rabbitohs.
Yeah, this sucks. I'll be honest with you. And not just because I don't like South Sydney. A lot of the classic stuff this year has been dead boring. There's only 2 training sets worse than this. So because of that, I'm going to give it 9th and hope that those other 2 don't come through.
Okay.
Also, for people playing at home, you'll see all those little dots down the bottom. That's the eye of the rabbit.
Oh, it is too.
Flip the other way around.
Oh, that actually looks cool. I actually like that.
So that's what saved it from being basically last place. They had a bit more about them than what could be the 2 worst. Well, are the 2 worst, but whether they'll land on my list or not.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Dragons.
I like this. And I like the grey one the best. And they had a pink one too. That was cool. I got to put it 3rd.
Okay. All right.
That color scheme, that mottled effect in the background, is kind of supposed to be representative of the ocean or the sea or an oil slick. Someone pointed out that they thought that looked very similar to when the Brisbane Broncos did a jersey, and the Brisbane River was their theme, and they used a similar pattern. And it may or may not be the same pattern. That's up for you to decide.
Copyright. But what jersey? Oh, it's not this one. I'm trying to think of the jersey that there would have been.
It's one of those city jerseys, I think. Oh no, it was underneath the home jersey from the toilet bowl year. It might have been last year's. I think it was this last year's home jersey. When you look at it closely, it actually has like a swirly effect underneath. That's supposed to be the Brisbane River.
Yeah. Well, you have to actually look closely for the Broncos one though. So yeah. Okay, you ready for the second last one?
I am.
Tigers.
Okay, I don't mind this. So they got a couple other different ones. The purple one is my favourite of this lot. That Empower logo in the middle is actually their charity / community arm. I don't know if it's intentionally in the shape of a love heart or if that's accidental. It's a little kitty, though. I would have liked that to be a little bit more aggressive. So I'm going to have to give it 2nd and hold out hope for some dismal ones to finish. But the purple is my favourite of that.
So,
which was the coach's one.
Okay, so according to this, we only have the one left.
10.
Yeah. So Retro, I think you're going to be very happy with this one because the 10th one is
the Roosters. Yeah, it sucks.
Yes.
The worst one is their warm-up jersey looks like a rashy.
Yes.
Like if you saw this in isolation, you'd probably be like, oh yeah, it's like, it's clean, it's minimalistic, except for it's the exact same thing for 6 years in a row. So if you're a Roosters fan, you'd be pretty fed up with Castor and that stuff that they put out, which is 0 effort stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Just quickly, I'm resetting up for the next one. So
I've also heard, and I can't confirm this, that there's people on the inside of the Sydney club who aren't fans of it either, from a wearing point of view.
Okay. Okay, so let's quickly go through these. Yeah, I did that intentionally, knowing I wanted to see if you would do it.
That's why I held out.
And guys, let's give Retro a good job. He knew it was coming. I will say this: the last group that we're going to do is completely random, so I don't know this one off the back of my head. So at first we got the Broncos Mint, second the West Tigers. Just a note on the West Tigers, I actually prefer the black one that they've recently been using. I think there's been a few shots of Jerome Luai wearing it, and I thought that one was actually a really good one. Then we have the Dragons one, Raiders dark tee, and then the Raiders bright tee. So that's 4th and 5th. And you said you would swap them?
Yeah, if I had the option, I'd probably do it the other way around, but I don't have the option.
Then we have the Bulldogs tee, the Storm tee, the Sea Eagles, the Rabbitohs, and of course the Roosters.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that at all.
Okay, so guys, you willing to do one more?
Yeah, man. Sure.
All right. Well, we're going to do one more. I think this one you're going to like. So this one, this will be our last one for tonight. This one is retro jerseys. Now, this isn't just limited to retail, I believe. So these might be in retail, they might not be, but let's see how you do. So this could be anything. So this will probably be your hardest test.
Yeah, there's no limits on this.
All right, are you ready? Can you see Suncorp?
I can. Let's do it.
All right. First one. Penrith. This is the Penrith Chocolate Soldiers.
Yeah, I mean anything white and brown is kind of referred colloquially as the Chocolate Soldiers. This is their first ever jersey. I actually prefer the vertical striped version, which came out, I think, after this. Don't mind it, but we do have 10. I'm going to give it 8.
Okay. Panthers Chalk. I'm going to try and actually number these ones this time. Our second one. Oh, okay. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, don't mind this. Now, we've got a lot to go, so I'm going to hold out for some other good ones. I like this, but we're playing with anything, right? So I'm going to put it at 9th.
Okay. For those who don't, for those on Spotify, this is the Dolphins.
Oh, sorry. Yes, this is the Redcliffe Dolphins jersey. This is modelled after, I believe, 1981. This is when Artie came back to Redcliffe and wore this strip. I think they won a grand final wearing this strip. Village Motors is very famous as a sponsor for Redcliffe, of course, and they're still operating out of Redcliffe near North Lakes, near a big IKEA.
Yes, I've passed IKEA so many times, and I always see Village Motors. It's so so interesting, and I see them on the road too, because they sell cars, obviously. But let's go to number 3. Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, the Diamond Travelland Broncos. This is the 1995 one. They did also do it in 94. Like it. Not my fave Broncos of all time. I like the weird ones from the Bronx. I'm going to play it safe and put it at 7th and still hold out for some absolute bangers.
So 1995?
Yes. You can tell it's 1995 by that ARL badge that only existed for 1 year.
Ah, right. Okay.
So before that, it was New South Wales Rugby League. After that, it had the Optus patches either sewn on above or below, or a fatter Optus patch for 96, 97. And then the 98 big fat NRL patch, which was made to sew over Super League jerseys.
Ah, all right. Next one. Ooh.
Gold Coast. This is supposed to be 94, I believe, although we're looking at the retro reprints and sometimes they are notoriously error riddled. I think this one's not too bad. I don't mind this one. There's another Gold Coast one that I know is coming out very soon that I would prefer over this. I'm going to still hold out hope for good things and give it 6th.
Okay, so this is Gold Coast. I got to make sure I get this right. Seagulls.
Seagulls, that'd be about a 94. I've got a 93 player issue just over my shoulder there.
Nice.
It's very cool.
All right. Cowboys.
Yes, this is an interesting one. This is one of those errors that we're talking about. So that patch, the NRL patch you see there, for people listening at home, in 98, the NRL had these big fat green patches with the NRL logo, as you're probably semi-familiar with the white and black football. This isn't supposed to be in 98, and it should have that big green patch around it. So this was an error that the way the badge is shaped there is reminiscent of 99 and 2000. So that's not quite right. But that's a Super League style strip. They're originally made by Nike. I like those, and I'm going to put it at 5th.
5th, okay. Also, good spot of the error too. I didn't know it was an error. I will say that.
The nice thing is the 98 style ones have brought out since then. They have fixed that up. So the Warriors did one that has the patch, and another team did 2. The Panthers, I think.
I'll just say this, you've perked Nio's ear up because they are wondering, they are saying new Gold Coast stuff is up. Gimme.
Yeah, it was supposed to be out. So I can tell you right now, it's supposed to be Gold Coast, and it's not a secret. It's kind of been, if you ask my team shop, they'll tell you 96 charges was supposed to be out in March. It's been delayed, so you're probably looking more towards the end of April, May, but it is coming.
Ooh, okay. Some really cool stuff coming. Let's move on to the next one.
Melbourne Storm 98. So there's that patch we're talking about. So once again, the Spotify people can't hear this, but the viewers can see that big green patch. Probably actually it should be bigger than that. The real ones were even bigger because they were made to be sewn over the top of the. There was 97 going into the 98 season. Super League had these little badges that were going to be on their jerseys, and these patches were made to be put over the top. So they're very cool. That's Melbourne Storm's first year. I like these. I'm going to go 4th.
Okay, interesting. We're almost stacking them on top of each other.
I know. So I'm holding out. We've got 1, 2, and 3, and 10. So we need a clanger and 3 bangers.
Okay. What about this one?
Look, it's iconic. It's very rugby league. It's not my favourite. I don't think it deserves 10th. Can't give it 1 and 2. So I'll put it at 3rd. It's not where I would have ranked it, but it is a very iconic rugby league jersey.
For the Spotify listeners. Oh, sorry.
Yes, my apologies. This, well, it has been 94 before. I think this might be older. I think this might be 1989 Balmain Tigers. My apologies. We've got Phillips on the chest and the double black chevron, a 3/4 sleeve Balmain Tigers kit. You see these everywhere. Like this is a very common retro reprint to see out and about. Anthony Wiggle has one of these. He's a big Tigers fan.
Yes. By the way, there's a lot of, I don't know why, but there was one Tigers video I watched, and I think it was like the Wiggles, like, they got a new victory song now, the Tigers, apparently. And it's been done by the Wiggles and some of the players as well. But after that video, I got recommended like loads of Anthony Wiggle stuff, and he's like, there's a deep story there. I would definitely, if you ever see those videos, definitely check it out. Lots of mental health stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, this is a good one. I'm starting to worry that I haven't given you bangers.
Uh-oh.
Next one.
Yeah, this is pretty iconic too. This is the James Hardy Parramatta Eels jersey. I think this is, I want to say 86. This is the last jersey they won a grand final in, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, on a modern front, I'm not a big fan of the fact that James Hardy is back on Parramatta Eels jerseys. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it's certainly like a very quintessential rugby league jersey. So I'll put it in 2nd. I'm holding out for a hero.
Yeah, I'm starting to be doubtful now, if I'm being completely honest. All right, so you have 1 and 10.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be hard, I reckon. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, okay. Well, so on this front, we are, for viewers, we are looking at a 2000 Broncos jersey. This is the grand final edition. All these jerseys were made by Tidwell, so they're not the originals, they're the reprints. You can see that big fat white grand final patch on what would be the right-hand side of the chest if you're wearing it. In real life, those patches are actually bigger. The Ansett logos would be a little bit bigger. If you were able to see on the back of this jersey, so on the front you can see 3 white chevrons pointing down on the belly. On the back, it should be blank yellow. On the reprints, there was an error and they were put on the back as well. They should not be there. Ooh. For that reason, and just because I'm hoping that with the Roosters 97 is at the end, I'm going to go to the Broncos for 10th. Although I don't think it's really that bad of a jersey.
Okay. And I will say this. The last one is a Roosters jersey, but I don't think it's the one you think it is.
Okay.
I think, if I recall correctly, I could be wrong.
Okay, I'm happy with this. It's not the one. Actually, it is a 97. It's not the 97 I was hoping for, but these are very sought after. They commonly go for over $1,000, the real ones, not the reprints, obviously. For the Spotify listeners, we're looking at a 1997 Roosters Heritage jersey. It's the red, white, and blue horizontal hoops, or that kind of big fat line, blue and 2 thin lines, white and red. This is what the original Roosters jerseys looked like back in 1908, when they were still just eastern suburbs. and the old meth head chook. I love that old chook logo. Those badges, are only done. We've got a kind of football circular shaped green badge. All the foundation clubs got those special badges. So not every team, but North Sydney, Balmain, the Rabbitohs,
Magpies,
and Roosters, and Magpies all got that badge. So not St. George and teams like that. But I'm happy with that at being first place.
all good. I'm going to revert our screen share back because we are golden and we're about to finish. So to review, if you want to chuck in the year for this one, that might be great if you could. At first place, we've got the Roosters 97.
That's correct. Yep.
Eels 88, 89.
I thought it was 86, but it could be 89.
I know it was the last time
they won a premiership. Yeah.
Then we have the Balmain Tigers.
Yep.
Did you get the year for that one?
I thought it was 89. I thought that might be the one they wore in the grand final. I'd have to look at it to know exactly. They're very similar. They had that very similar layout for a long time.
Storm. We also have the Storm. I think that's their foundation jersey.
That's right. That's the 98 one.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to put 98 there. Cowboys. This one was an error, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's a 98 jersey. It's got the 99 badge on it.
Yeah. Oh, also, hi, bunnies, guys. Gold Coast Seagulls, 95?
Oh, 94, I believe.
Okay, 94. Broncos, 1995.
Yep.
Panther, I didn't get the year, but I got Panthers Chocolate.
Yeah, that's their first year of existence. Did they start, last year was an anniversary thing for them. So I think 1975?
75. Cool.
People
and
in
then
the chat can tell you.
Probably. Dolphins Redcliffe, you said 1981.
I think it's 81.
Yeah.
The old BRL competition.
And then finally the Broncos 1997 jersey.
So Broncos 2000 grand final jersey, isn't that what I put there?
Oh, whoops. Yeah, sorry, my mistake. I was told it was it was this one, remember?
Yep, that's 2000. Yep.
Yeah, okay, sorry, I've written the wrong thing down. So Broncos 2000, and that was an error. You put that down there because it was an error.
Well, I mean, I put it down there because I was leaving first place more than anything. If I was ranking them as I actually think, I probably wouldn't put it there. 1966 is the Panthers Foundation date. But it does have an error on it, yes. On the back.
Cool. All right. Well, that's going to do it for the blindly ranking of jerseys. How'd you find that, Retro?
Yeah, it's a bit of fun. The last one was the wildest, wasn't it? We could have had anything pop up, so...
Well, when I was looking through the retros, I was just like, I want to just do a variety of stuff. I could have thrown something from 2012 in there if I wanted to.
Yeah, I was expecting maybe one of those Panthers World Sevens jerseys to pop up. It's the white one with kind of dashes of yellow and green and red. Pretty funky one. I was expecting some wild ones to pop up. So I got dealt a pretty nice hand, really.
Yes, but that's really good. But maybe next time you're on, we'll do some more of that because I think that would be a really great game, a really good thing to start off with. Also, fun fact. So the episode we actually missed of Scrum a few weeks back, I actually invited Retro to come on, but also we had Alfred happening at the time.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, but it is an honor to absolutely have you. We're gonna finish off the podcast, but before we do that, I think it's time we go through our tips and predictions for round 6 of the NRL for the NRL season. So you guys ready? Let's get this started. I'm gonna get the music going. All right, so the first game of the entire round is the Dolphins, or let's say the Redcliffe Dolphins, as Retro likes to call them. Redcliffe Dolphins versus Panthers. Now, Panthers are the heavy favorites in this matchup. However, they are coming off 4 losses in a row right now. Their last win was in Vegas against the Sharks. And the Dolphins are coming off a really good win against the Gold Coast Titans, which was actually a pretty dominant win too. Retro, what's your thoughts on this game?
Dylan Edwards returns for the Panthers in this game. Pardon me. I think that's enough to get them over the line. I think I would like to believe that they'll kind of shock themselves back into actually a ripper of a performance, and they're going to win this well.
Yep, I definitely agree. I think the Panthers will be doing a bounce back to form. However, I'm going to compliment the Dolphins here, and I'm going to say Panthers 1-12. What's your tip? What's your selection? Sorry.
I'd say Panthers 13+.
Okay, fair enough. All right, then we're going to go down to, I believe, I don't have the name here. I think it's Wynn Stadium. It's Jubilee
That's
Oval.
Wollongong. Wynn Stadium, Wollongong. Yeah. So what round are we?
6.
Round 6. You can probably expect, and we're in the Illawarra, that the St. George will wear their red jersey for the first time this round.
This is actually a perfect matchup too for it. So the Titans, I'm assuming the Titans will wear their home jersey for this one, so it'll be blue v red.
I would probably still think it'd be white. I could be wrong, but it could be blue v red. But I would expect the Titans to be in their white kit. I'm going to say, by that vibe, St. George get this one. St. George Illawarra. We've got to emphasise the Illawarra for this one.
I'm actually going to go against you here, and I'm actually going to pick the Titans for this one.
Okay, there you go.
I think the Finns will be looking at Finns. I think the Finns kind of put something in their soul. The one thing that could probably... Oh, wait. No, actually, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to say Dragons. Because the thing is that the Titans don't have Tino, and I think that's a big loss.
It is. And I think, it'll be starting to get cool night on the Illawarra. I think it's just going to get them home. I don't know if they're doing like an old boys thing, because this is the first time they'll wear that jersey. So you get the Sean Timmins and the Trent Barretts and those kind of boys out there. But I think St. George will get it.
So you're telling me Trent Barrett won't be at the next game?
Well, that's probably wrong. He probably will be since he's employed. It'd be good to see some of the old Illawarra boys there, Rod Wishart and Mary McGregor.
And speaking of Trent Barrett, we're going to move up all the way back to Suncorp Stadium, and it's our teams clashing again for the second time this year. It is the Broncos taking on the Roosters at Suncorp Stadium.
Geez, I'd like to hold out for a miracle. I can't see it happening. 2nd versus 16th. I have been to games where it's the other way around, and the Broncos beat the Roosters one time when they were like $8 outsiders. I have to pick Brisbane, but I ideally want the Roosters to get up.
Okay, so would you say Brisbane 1-12 or Brisbane 13+?
Brisbane 13+, unfortunately.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that one, if I'm being honest. Do you think, I will say this, do you think the Broncos will hit 50 again?
No, I don't. Nah. I think they'll still win, say, like 36-12 or something. It'll be convincing.
Yeah.
But if it's a flip score, I predict the Roosters win. Could possibly a similar scoreline if they shock them, like they did with the Panthers. But I'd say it's like 18-12 if the Roosters get over the line in a gritty affair. I just can't see it happening.
Yeah, I definitely agree. If it's the Roosters winning at, say, 1-12, if it's Broncos, it's 13+. Don't have to pick this if you don't want to. Would you like to pick a try scorer for this one? Who would you...
You thinking any time, or are you thinking first?
Anytime.
Ooh. Jesse Arthurs.
I was going to say, who do you pick on the Roosters?
Oh, okay. In that regard, I'd say Daniel Tupou. Or I'm going to back him in on debut, Hugo Savala.
Fair enough. For the Broncos, I think I'm going to back Selwyn to get a meat pie on this one.
Yes, could very well be done.
Fair enough. All right, so we'll move on to the Saturday games. I think this is one of the Perth games. This is the first of the 2 Perth games. So we have Cronulla Sharks up against the Seagulls. I believe the Sharks are favourites for this one. I don't think they're heavy favourites, but they are favourites.
Yeah, the Sharks are in 10th, Seagulls in 6th. Interesting tidbit, there was talk once upon a time of relocating the Sharks to Perth, so maybe this is their future destiny. I think the Seagulls can get the job done here. I have a really little team list to analyse that fully, and as I'm starting to look at it now, I may change my mind. But I don't know. It's a nice edge, this one. I'm going to flip. I'm going the Sharks.
Yeah, if I'll be honest, if the Sharks don't win this one, I feel like that's a cause for concern.
Yeah, it's not one that you'd have them as a lay down misère to win. Adam Fanua-Blake is probably the thing that swung me back in the favour of the Sharks up against Manly's forward pack.
Also, the lack of Trbojevic makes me don't want to pick the Sea Eagles on that one as well.
Yeah, I mean, if Tommy was there, that'd be a very strong thing in their favour. I mean, Lehigh Hoplade's been pretty good. Jason Saab is actually named in the squad. I thought he was gone.
Yeah, so did I. Interesting.
But just having a look at the Tommy Talau's at 18, so maybe he'll jump in there.
Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting tidbit. I didn't even see that. I've also picked the Sharks as well, but only 1 to 12. I'm not too confident on the Sharks putting on a cricket score, if I'm being completely honest.
They're not that kind of team, are they? Really?
No. Except if they're against the Tigers and they just run riot.
Yeah, well.
Let's move over to the other Perth game. Rabbitohs v Cowboys. Speaking of the Tigers, because the Cowboys and Tigers just don't like each other. What do you think for this game?
Cowboys and Tigers have had an interesting history lately, haven't they? They've put big scores on each other. Oh, I don't say Cowboys and Rabbitohs. Yeah. Oh, man, this could go either way once again. Like a depleted South Sydney, can they do 2 in a row of being absolutely strapped? Or are the Cowboys being like coming off that high of beating Penrith? I just kind of feel like Latrell's in a mood. And so for that reason, I'm going Souths.
1 to 12 or 13 plus?
Jeez, that's a tough one too. Oh, man. I think they could win 13 plus.
I'm also going to go Rabbitohs, but I'm only going to go 1 to 12.
They've only dropped 1 game, haven't they, this year?
Yeah, and I think it was against the Sharks too.
Yeah.
But then we head on over to, I believe, Combank? No, it's Darwin. It's Darwin.
Yeah.
All the games, these are not normal home games. It's like a home away from home kind of Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, in fact, is this the round where there's no games in Sydney? Yes, this is it. This is the no Sydney round. So, not that's an official thing. It just happens to be that way. You know what? I'm going Parramatta.
Parramatta.
They like Darwin.
1 to 12.
History there, I think.
No, actually. I
I
believe they've lost the last 3 games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they got smashed by Finns last time.
Yeah, okay.
The time before, they just lost to the Broncos, and I'm pretty sure the year before they lost to Canberra.
Well, maybe this is their revenge mission.
Yeah.
I'm going to back them in. I think they can get it done.
I'm actually going to back the Raiders on this one. Also, fun fact, this is actually, I believe, the last TO Stadium game for the Parramatta as well. I think they won't be going back next year.
It's the end of that contract.
Yes.
Interesting.
Then heading on over to AAMI Park in Melbourne, it is the Storm v the Warriors. Oh, this is a grudge match. Oh.
Just poor old Storm, Warriors, sorry. Like, they just never seem to be able to aim up against the Storm, do they? I only see this going one way. Storm 13 plus for me.
I'm gonna back Storm as well, but I'm only gonna say 1 to 12 because the Warriors always stand up for this game, especially in recent years.
Yeah, I mean they've had a few Anzac Day drubbings, haven't they? So yeah, I'm not as convinced. I think the Storm will roll through them.
I just remember a video. I think this was the year Storm went 70-10 to the Warriors, and someone, this guy who always, I think his name's Jake Cairns or something. He always dresses up as a ref, and he goes into the Warriors dressing room. He's like dressed in all black, and he's just like crying and stuff. We're gathered here today to rest, to mourn the loss of the Warriors.
Yeah.
This was back when the Warriors weren't that good, but the Warriors have actually improved in recent years, so it's actually good to see. And
sorry,
continue.
Go.
No, continue.
all I was going to say is that even some of the years where they've improved, they'd show up and everyone say, "Oh, the Warriors will do it this year," and still get thumped by the Storm. So, yeah, I hold out very little hope for them.
Shout out to actually no, I won't. Never mind. I also want to just mention a comment in chat from Nio. This was also last year. This was the game last year in Amy Park where I think it was the try of the year from Xavier Coates.
Ah, yes, okay.
Yes,
So
because
can
he remember he
2
dived.
years in a row.
Yeah, well, he went flying. He grew wings that day. Yeah. Now the final game. This is a tough one to pick. I believe the Knights are the favorites, but it's Knights v West Tigers. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, it's an interesting round. We've got 2 games where two teams have already played each other inside 6 rounds. So the Knights and Wests have already played each other in round 1, as did the Roosters and Broncos. Tigers only just lost this last time at Campbelltown. Knights coming off a loss. Could go either way. Knights going back to home. I'm going to say that gives them the advantage.
So you're going to go Knights?
Yeah, in a small margin.
I'm actually going to go against you. I'm going to pick the Tigers. They've got Jerome Luai back, and they've also got Jarrell Skelton back as well.
Oh,
so
yes, good point.
That's definitely going to be a big win for the Tigers. So, yeah, I definitely think the Tigers. It's a big in for the Tigers, but I definitely feel like the Tigers might get up for this game. They want revenge, and also, like as you said, that game that we watched at Suncorp Stadium doesn't the scoreline doesn't reflect how good the Tigers were.
Yeah, and they'll take a bit of confidence from that, I think. So
yeah,
I could easily believe that the narrative you're saying that the Tigers will get up. I just have a feeling that the home ground advantage will be enough to get Newcastle over the line.
I definitely agree with that, honestly, and yeah, that's going to be the upcoming round. But that's actually going to do it for the podcast, folks. Thank you so much for coming. Retro, I want to say a massive thank you for coming on and checking out the podcast and also having a bit of fun with some jerseys.
Yeah, no, it's been good. A bit of fun. Something else, something different on a Wednesday night. So thanks to the people who've put in their questions and stuff along the way. And there'll still be a few more interesting jerseys to come throughout the year. Holding out hope for something good for the Roosters. They've earmarked a 1975 grand final reunion, something along the lines against the Tigers. Ooh. So we're crossing our fingers that we'll get something decent from them.
I won't say what it was. We were talking about it before the podcast, but there was something that was leaked today. There was a new jersey, and we're definitely I think we're kind of conflicted on it, but I really like it, and I think you're kind of impartial to it.
Yeah, it's just the design's been done before. Yeah. But I don't believe that. So of the compulsory jerseys, we've seen a couple of Indige ones already. We've seen West, Roosters, and South Sydney's. But there'll be a bunch more to come on that front. Probably a few more Anzac jerseys maybe to eke across the line. Warriors going to have some interesting ones pop out still this year. And then Indige, when that will be around about August, I think. Indige round, we'll see a real flood of stuff there.
Definitely. I'm just checking Instagram right now to see if there's any new jerseys that have come out. Beat you to the punch.
I mean, I'm on time to release them at 9:30 at night, but I've seen weirder things.
But I will say this, seriously, thank you so much. And it's interesting this year as well because Indigenous round is actually later in the year.
It's been played over 2 weeks, which I think is a good idea because a lot of times every team would do an Indige jersey and then not get to wear it for a few weeks because, the cycle of home and away games and things like that. Or they, would be able to wear it, but it's going to clash or whatever kind of thing. And they're also doing this interesting thing, kind of like a mini gather round. What do they call it?
Yes.
Gadu round or something. Unfortunately, it's across 3 days. It's not all on the same day. So I think they kind of missed a trick there to not put 3 games on after each other and try and max out the crowd at Allianz.
Yeah.
It's just 3 rounds on at the same stadium over 3 days.
I will say this. We saw they actually revealed the Indigenous jerseys for all, I think 3 of the 4 teams. If I recall correctly. I think.
Was it all 4? Who's the other team playing there?
I know Roosters, Rabbitohs, and Tigers revealed their jerseys. But those were the three. Those were the three teams. I think Manly's also playing there. I think they're playing the Tigers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But they haven't revealed us yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that'll be interesting.
Cool. But guys, that's going to do it for the podcast. Retro, again, thank you so much for coming on. I'll go ahead and link your stuff on the podcast, on the comments right now, and I'll link it on the Spotify stuff. And seriously, thank you so much. Do you want to just quickly promo yourself there?
Sure. So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm most active on Instagram, and particularly if you're looking to buy jerseys off me. So I buy and sell vintage gear, or older jerseys anyway. Instagram is the place to do that. Can't send pictures and stuff off TikTok, unfortunately. So you can find me at retro_rugba_league, Leeg, like Peter Volandis would say it. We're doing some reviews. Got the Titans review coming out tomorrow. We've got other stuff that'll come out soon. We've got our Retro Club, which is kind of a subscription service for members where you get some internal benefits, but also first look at new jerseys that come out. And there's some exclusive merch coming for members only to purchase. So there's just some cool stuff happening this year that's worth keeping tabs on.
And guys, of course, if you really enjoy the podcast and you are new around here, I highly recommend subscribing to the channel. We're not only a rugby league discussion video, a discussion channel, we're also a gaming channel as well. So come and check out the Rugby League Live 4. And also, we'll be covering news on the new Rugby League game, hopefully coming out later this year. We just found out there's an AFL game coming out by the same company. So
in May, I think, and the Roosters, the NRL one's supposed to be done by July. So I don't think it'll be. Winston Neville is saying, maybe it'll come out in May too. I can't see that happening. If they're only still doing scans on players now. But I think July is achievable.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be exciting to see. And I think, honestly, like, a lot of people are like, oh my God, they're doing AFL and not NRL. Like, don't panic. It's all good. There's probably got different teams on it. And honestly, it kind of gives you luck for, like, more rugby league games in the future too. So,
well, I think it's actually good the AFL is coming out first because they'll bug test that and fix things for the NRL one. So I actually prefer it that way.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, it's probably better because I wouldn't be surprised if the engine is on the Rugby 25 engine. So they also had and it's very, very questionable. But guys, that's going to do it for the end of the podcast. Seriously, guys, thank you so much for watching. Retro, again, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you all. As always, make sure you check out the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. I'll just close out.